Look, all of this othering of Obama, like he's from some other planet, everything he does is subject to a different lens and seen through a microscope that really tends to pick him apart. I think it's indivisible from the broader issue of his race, of his being a black man with a certain kind of authority. These are impolite things we don't want to talk about. We think that they're being extraordinarily ratcheted up, but I don't see any other way to explain it but a remarkable resistance to the integrity of this man that has no other explanation.
When you hear Republicans say that President Obama is being a bully, you hear racial subtext.
Of course, bully. I mean, look, this guy, if you can't deal with this reasoned, articulate expression of difference and dissent and calling that bullying, and on the one hand, Obama has to be worried about, I can't be an angry black man, I can't speak up in a certain way. He's already constrained by the stereotypes that prevail. If you can't even take his dissent as an expression of legitimate disagreement and instead ascribe to him bullying, I don't see how
Do you
can
think
describe
being black
it.
has made the president less effective?
Well, it's made his job much more difficult because even white liberals who support him obviously play into certain racial scripts, black people who support him across the board. I think it's very difficult for the president to be able to maneuver because he has to be so concerned. He can focus on the 50th anniversary of To Kill a Mockingbird, but can't necessarily highlight the 44th anniversary of the death of Martin Luther King Jr. There are choices to be made. I think he's done an extraordinarily interesting and powerful job of it, but I think the constraints are not his, but imposed by him from the outside.
But regardless of his skin pigmentation, what he said was factually, demonstrably false. He said something would be unprecedented that has many precedents, probably thousands, since 1803.
That I don't have a problem with. I'm talking about the overall response to him and the picking apart and the refusal to concede legitimacy of difference, not to point out where you would disagree with him. I think that's powerful.
Can I say, the president is known as an extremely bright man. He was an instructor of constitutional law. For him to say something so deeply incorrect and almost unknowing about the purpose of the Supreme Court seemed provocative, at the very least sloppy, and what the heck is he doing? But at the most provocative, a real brushback, a real I'm going to go to war with the court.
He was definitely laying a predicate. I mean, the aides will say, no, he wasn't thinking that far in advance. But he clearly was laying a predicate that in case the law is overturned, he's going to set up sort of that politicization of the court and another 5-4 decision. And these comments will be looked back at. But let's be clear. He gave his critics an opening here, and the White House knew it. He cleaned it up the next day because of the inaccuracy. They did not want to spend this whole week talking about Marbury versus Madison, and Jay Carney had to walk back these comments all week. He definitely slipped here, and I think they tried to make a course correct.